Now, you talked about in some of your live streams that people brag about living in the hood and then excommunicate people once they leave the hood. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I found that in subtle fashion and some more blunt, that is as though I don't have the right to speak on issues that impact us immediately since I left the neighborhood or since I left the hood. And I believe, well, I don't believe, I know personally, I don't know what hoods people are coming from, but I know where I'm from in Brownsville, we always talked about one day leaving. Can't wait to get out of here. This was the sentiment that was shared amongst all of us. It just so happens that I'm one of few that actually got out, and now it appears to be a problem, you know, and I know they say misery loves company, and I'm very aggressive about encouraging people to leave the community. They oftentimes say that the second a brother gets some money, he leaves the black community. And I understand how they feel and where that comes from. But I also understand that I didn't live in a black community. I lived in a white community populated with a lot of black people. If it were a black community, we would run the schools, we would have ran the hospitals, we'd have ran law enforcement, we would have came up with the curriculums, we would run the hospitals and so forth and so on. We would control the produce in and out, we would run the banks. So in my opinion, we would be the landlords. So in my opinion, many purportedly black communities are just white communities populated by black people. So it wouldn't matter if I left one white community for a more diverse community. Either way, it wasn't a black community in the first place.
Meaning that if you want to go to a black community, you'd have to go to another country.
I believe so at this particular time. I mean, there's a black Beverly Hills out here, so to speak, and it's pretty cool. I mean, there's black communities for the most part in America. They're not as abundant, and most people that claim that they're from a black community, they're living in an illusion. And for whatever reason, well, I know the reason, people don't come out for air from the doctrines that they teach. So a lot of people haven't been blessed with the opportunity to experience other people of other cultures, of other races, other various belief systems and dispositions to fairly have a synopsis or come up with an overview about people in the world. You know, I've been to Egypt, I've been to Israel, I've been to Ethiopia, I've been to South Africa, I've been to the Bahamas, I've been to UK, I've been to France, right? So I've traveled so many different places around the world. And sure, there's many more places I have to go, and I left some places out, of course, Canada, and throughout the United States. And under different circumstances, I haven't traveled from one hood to the next. I've also traveled to very powerful, very wealthy areas that are very diverse, or maybe not even much black people. So my perspective of the world, people, and politics is going to change. And that's what people have to understand. I've been so many different places that it would be a lie if I came back and told people to hold on to the same views that were being spewed at myself and them when I was held in constraint to poverty. You understand what I'm saying? So I get it. But if your teacher doesn't travel much, then they only have one view of the world, and that view is compromised. When a person travels and they actually experience different people from different places, you realize the sensationalism, you realize where people romanticize. And you also realize, you know what? I grew up being raised that the white man is the devil. And you know what? The white man is the devil in Brownsville as far as I'm concerned, and also in prison as far as I'm concerned. I wouldn't even disagree. The white man is the devil in prison. Surely not everybody, but I understand the conviction because of the relationship between black and white people when impoverished, and white officers happen to deal with people lacking in resources day to day. The behavior patterns of people lacking in resources are only going to amount to them fighting amongst each other and fighting amongst people outside their race. But of course, crime will be perpetuated amongst the people of the same race within the confines of their own community. So whether it be black on black crime, or they should start saying Chinese on Chinese or white on white, people commit crimes or perpetrate crimes amongst each other within the confines of their own community first and foremost. So I understand the relationship between black and white people especially when you're dealing with destitution or dilapidation. I understand it. But what happens when you travel out of that destitution? What happens when you go into environments that's high in vegan culture, or the foods are just more nutritious, and people are not lacking in resources, and people are able to live above par? Then how is the relationship amongst black and white people? Well, I'm not going to tell you that the world is this oasis, but I'm also going to tell you that as I started traveling to other places, I realized all the people I was calling white would tell you they're not white. They'd tell you, oh, I'm Armenian, we're not white. Oh, no, I'm Polish. Oh, and I'm like, whoa, this is different. In my world, in poverty, I just know black and white. You either look like me or you look like someone else. As I traveled, I learned more about people's culture and the distinctions that they set, rightfully so, amongst themselves and other people around the world. And I've been treated respectfully. And as much as I would like to lie to my people and tell them that white people have been disrespecting me everywhere I go, world over, and they're all evil, I would love to tell people that, but I can't. You understand what I'm saying? I have to be honest and say, you know what? I've had some of the worst things done to me by my own race. Like I could imagine you may have had some of the worst things done to you by people of your own race. It happens. And you have to be honest when you be confronted by people of other races. You know what? I've had a more prosperous relationship with this person of another race than I had with the other one. Now, of course, our teachers who don't travel much would like to say, you know what? Oh, the cracker got his mind. Oh, he think because he got some Beverly Hills money that they're going to change on him. Look, they're going to take his house. This is what they prey on. They prey on my demise because my mind is open. And there's not big money in spreading that propaganda, but there's some money in spreading that propaganda. So it benefits the person who's the greatest benefactor of that doctrine is the person spewing that information, not really the people assimilating it. It's the people who disseminate it. They're the ones who benefit. They're the ones who can sell another DVD, and prey on the innocence of a people who just want to do better, live better, and want a world to be a whole lot more better for themselves and their children. So I don't knock it. I understand what my people mean when they say the white man is the devil. I get it. But it's very hard to impress upon the mind of a person who has gained a great deal of success and built relationships with people of several different races from several different areas and realize, sometimes you get the best from your own kind and sometimes you get the worst from your own kind. And I believe people are entitled to their right to appreciate what people do for them, void of their race. Does this mean that I'm turning my back on my history? No. Does this mean I don't understand what the white man has done to my people in history? No. Am I always skeptical when I get around the white man? Of course I am. I'm on the short end of the stick historically when it comes to white people. So I'm always going to have fair skepticism, and I believe I have the right because of what history has taught me about white people's relationships with not just black people, but the world. I'm always going to have fair skepticism. But when a man treats me the right way, I can't force myself to see contradiction when reality tells me otherwise.